We are not financial advisors, nor are we broker-dealers. Securities used in these videos are examples only. Investing comes with risk. Investing options also has risk. These demo accounts may be used, but they are for training purposes only. Testimonials may be offered. Don't expect the same thing. Remember, we're all here as peers helping peers. This is not professional advice. We're here to help each other. Enjoy.
Anyway, it's my pleasure to introduce Matt, a little bit on his background for those of you who just registered today. Matt has been using InvestTools method since 2001. He came to InvestTools from the Business Week sales channel. He's primarily a fundamentals trader with a global perspective using geography and sector breakouts, some of the same stuff you saw from Brett. Currently does a significant amount of sharing on diagonal strategy with clients and students. I took his second class. I think he's had 3, and they've been magnificent. Best of all, they've been free. He became a full trader. Matt became a full trader after suffering an aneurysm and deciding to refocus on his family and God instead of just work and money. There's a lot more to it than just work and money, for sure. And it took Matt over 18 months after getting serious to build a substantial trading pool and proving that he could do it. If it took Matt 18, it's going to take me 36, I know that. And Matt's very active in giving back to students in his church. With that, let's give it up for Matt Haley.
Thank you. Best hat in the house. Worst throw in the house, but the best hat. Okay. Evie or somebody, can we get Bob back so we can actually have focus on this? Because I'm pretty sure you guys didn't all drink enough wine to make that look like that. And I didn't have any wine and it looks bad, so if we can get somebody to fix that. We had a couple questions that came out of yesterday's session. I was going to address those, and as most of you recall, we threw away the old concept of what we're going to do this afternoon, and we have a new one. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of slides for that, but we're going to work through it all together, and we're going to get some help from people along the way. One of the things that came up several times yesterday is, especially in individual discussions, is how long does it take? How much work is it? The reason I put these quotes up is, and I know we learned all of these things back when we were in elementary school. You know, Aristotle said this, Aristotle said that. Maybe we got it again when we were in high school, again when we were in college. But the bottom line was, if you don't do it a lot, you're not going to do it very well. I guess this isn't my chord. Yeah, great. So I wanted to, that first one, it's mark of an educated mind, to be able to entertain the thought without accepting it. We talked yesterday about reading lots of things. Some of it you may agree with, some of it you may not. The more you practice reading things that you may or may not agree with, the better you'll get at parsing it and pulling out something that you can use. This bottom one obviously isn't from Aristotle. All things are difficult before they are easy, right? I now can go through charts probably faster than anybody here, except maybe some people at the back row from InvestTools. I wasn't always able to go through charts that fast. It was hard. I worked many, many hours at it. I got much better at it after working at it. So when I say that this is 5 minutes worth of work, it might start out being an hour. It may later on be 30 seconds. But it will never be 5 minutes if you don't work at it. And a couple of people have asked me about how did I get Christopher involved, how come he learns it faster, how come he does things. There's an advantage of teaching a 13-year-old that's your son. One of the advantages is you're the parents and he's the kid, right? So you can tell them to do the homework. 13-year-olds are actually expect in life that if they're told they have to do the class before they go someplace, they do the class because otherwise they get Fs. We as adults know that we don't have to do the prerequisites, and then we get really upset when we don't get as much out of it. So I would just suggest that, occasionally we may need to put back our 13-year-old hat, our black hat from teenage years, and act like a teenager. This is new material. Some of it's hard. Some of it will be very easy, but it might be hard right now. Okay? How many people have attended an IT class where someone said one of the best books that you can read or that you should read is Think and Grow Rich? Okay, now I don't want hands to this one. How many people went home and finished the whole book? I bet you it was less than all, right? You pick the book up off the shelf and it looks mammoth. It looks heavy. It's not soft cover. There's big words in it that have more than 2 syllables. The plot stinks. Character development looks like it's out of the white pages, right? But guess what? There's a lot of good stuff in here. It's hard work to get through this book and actually learn it. But if you go through the book and learn it, you'll be a more confident investor. You'll be more confident in life, probably. I'm not the warm and fuzzy guy, as those of you that have been in any of my sessions. I don't focus on the warm and fuzzy side. But I think it's important that when someone that you have a lot of respect for, like a lot of the IT instructors, recommend some of these books, there's a reason they do. Somebody asked earlier today, what's a great book for options trading? One of the, worst written books from a plot perspective than this is Sheldon Nattenberg's books. I don't know how many of you guys have picked up a Nattenberg book, read it from cover to cover, and said, man, that was exciting stuff. That rocked. However, if you actually worked your way through the book, there is nothing in the Greeks that you can't do. There is no way you can look at a set of numbers and not instantly be able to see what's a synthetic I could trade that looks a little better right now. But it's hard work. Sheldon does not make his money from being a wonderful writer that can spin a tale. He makes his money because he actually knows why options are priced the way they're priced, why different strategies are developed the way they are and how they all work, and he wrote it all down so we can learn it. But I guarantee that most of the people that pick up the book get through probably page 23 when they get through the third one of those charts and said, you've got to be kidding me. This is never going to be valuable. I would much, much rather use the Analyze tab that has a bunch of little switches at the bottom that I don't understand, but the pictures are a lot prettier. Right? So if you use the Analyze tab and you modify everything that you need to modify at the bottom, you can do a front-month spread. But you can't do a time spread in the Analyze tab. We all know that. But because it looks pretty, what do? We do time spreads in the Analyze tab. So when I suspect everybody here has had a class that was led by either Cindy or Tom or JJ or someone else, did you notice that they all said they only created the Analyze tab for others to use, but as traders, they would never use something like that? And then we say we want to trade like them, and then we try and use a tool that they think is crazy. And then we wonder why we don't get the greatest results. But man, do those charts look cool, right? So I got the black hat on because I'm being mean right now, but I just want to make sure that we leave this with not only the material that we need to learn to trade better, but that mindset that we need to learn to trade better. This is not easy stuff. But if I can do it and my kid can do it, anybody here can do it. All right? But it will take some work. All right. Enough proselytizing. All right. Well, I appreciate that because I feel it strongly. All right. Well, I'm going to hope what I hope we will achieve in the next 3 hours and 8 minutes is to review a simple model of retirement portfolio, use some optionable stocks in that model, understand how to manage diagonals for that retirement, and review some trades in a model portfolio. I think this is what we came out of yesterday with. that we want to look at this from a long-term perspective. We want to look at it partially using options. Obviously, and you guys had a great presentation this morning from Brett, or we all had a great presentation from Brett this morning. Most of your retirement work, most of your portfolio, most of your investing money is going to be in stock. You may decide to use covered calls for a portion of that, and I'm going to assume that model. You don't have to use that model, but it's the model I'm going to work from. And then a small portion of it might be using diagonals or some other model. But that's what we're going to go through today. I've got tickers that we talked about yesterday. So the agenda, obviously, is to review the homework from all of the sessions. Our ongoing experiment, I wanted to explain an experiment that I've got going on right now because some people asked about that. Then we'll review the allocation model, and that will follow that by the hard right edge experiment. Okay? So that's the plan. All right. I've set up the black hat on for a reason. Most of you that have sat through one of my sessions, some of you are gluttons for punishment and sat through 3 of my sessions, and masochists, that or heavy drinker, I'm not sure, have heard me say that the way to be a better trader is to trade more and then analyze your trades. And you've probably seen, I've posted a couple times on the forums, one of the things I post a lot is you should be doing 5 trades a day, 4 days a week. And then the first response I get is, there's only 2 setups. I only found 2 setups this week. Okay, there's 14,000 tickers out there. I'm pretty sure there's more than 2. The other thing is, I think, we have 2 basic skill sets we need to do. We need to master to become master traders. One is, and I talked about this yesterday, master one methodology for making your trades. For me, that's the diagonal. For somebody else, it could be the vertical. For someone else, it could be synthetics using a box. I don't care what that is, but you should master it. The other thing we have to be able to do is set a posture and make sure that your investments match your posture, right? Well, guess what? If you are always looking for the perfect setup for your practice trades, then you're trying to tie those 2 items together. You're trying to learn how to do posture work while you're trying to do your trades. And then you make 3 trades this week, and they finally have moved 6 weeks later so you can figure out what happened with these 3 trades, and you don't know if the trades worked because your posture was right or because your trade setup was right. Or if they failed, did they fail because your posture was wrong? Or did they fail because your setup and your entry was wrong or your exit was wrong? So I suggest the best way to master those 2 skill sets is to learn them as distinct things. And again, I'm going back to the schooling model. When you're learning to write papers, you learn how to write separately from learning the basics of social studies or geography. Later on, you write papers on topics, but in the beginning, you have to learn how to write and diagram sentences and know what a noun is and all of those wonderful things, and we all hated it. And then we were all so glad we didn't have to do grammar anymore because it had become part of our nature, and then we focused on the content. Well, that works for just about everything you want to learn. If there's things that have dependencies, it's easier to learn if you separate those 2. So what I suggest is every day, do 5 trades. You have 2 paper trading accounts, almost everybody, because you have a paper trading account inside InvestTools. You have a paper trading account if you have TOS. If you don't have a paper trading account from TOS, it will take you a good 5 minutes to get one set up. I know, it rocks. Set one of those accounts up to be all bearish trades. Set one up to be all bullish trades. If you're like many people here who have a 401k account, they have a margin account, they have XYZ account, set one up if you've got 3 of them to be sideways. Then for each ticker, do all 3 entries. Learn how to trade and manage those trades as if the direction is bullish in your bullish area, as if it is sideways in the sideways area, as if it is bearish in the bearish area. And we have this 8-day trend. These are my bullish trades. We've got now a 10-day, 9-day trend that was bearish. We had a 1 day up in that 9 days. Manage those trades. Now you've totally separated finding trades, entering trades, managing trades.